In a world full of chaos, controversy, and new world records, and a new domination in speedcubing, the dynasty as you would call it, we're here today to tell you about the latest cubing news, stories, and what to catch up on, and boy has it been an eventful week for cubing today. My name is Carter Williams, I am the host, and I'm joined here with my co-host Will Klauer, as always. Been here since day one, and today we'll be talking about Yiheng's 3.08 3x3 world record single, Yiheng's 0.86 2x2 world record average, Tymon's 19.17 4x4 world record average, the Palisades livestream where both of those competitors, Dylan Miller and Luke Garrett, will be showing up. We're going to be talking about Max Park, and we'll talk about how he doesn't have the world record 3x3 single anymore. That is very big. We'll be talking about our thoughts about the cube clash Yiheng and Tymon are going into. It seems like Tymon and Yiheng are on top of the cubing world right now. And as always, we're going to be rounding off the podcast with our personal cubing achievements and endeavors. So, here we are. It is Sunday, February 16th, and I believe at 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time today, there was a message I got on Discord. As always, this is normally how I find out about my cubing news, and I see Yiheng Wang 3.08 3x3 world record single, and I think the craziest thing about it was that I was not shocked. I was not shocked.
No.
How did you find out? What did you think about it?
Well, I like to maintain a somewhat ordinary sleep schedule, so I did not find out about it until I woke up.
Okay.
And my first thought was, I'm not surprised, but also it's kind of really cool that he finally got single. So
it is cool. I think, I don't know if it's telling that this wasn't a sub-3. Because people, I think, wanted the next world record to be sub-3. I feel like that felt like the obvious progression from 347 to 313 to sub-3. But I think this micro world record, it's not that micro, 0.05 is a decent enough difference, I think. Yeah.
Like, it happens, The lower the time, the lower the increments between world records is going to be. So I'm not surprised that there was a 3.0 before a sub-3. I think I would have been more surprised if it was sub-3, actually.
Really? Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I would have been. Yeah, no, you're right. Because when I think of the world record, when I started cubing, it was 3.47, and then I've only seen 2 world record singles in my life. I've seen or at least when I in my cubing career, 3.47, 3.13, and now 3.08. It's just,
that's kind of crazy.
It is really crazy. You've been cubing since like the 5s, at least.
No, 470. Oh crap! Was it Volk or Felix? I think it was post Felix, so it would have been 473, but it could have been 474.
Okay.
That's Volk. So yeah, no, I went through all the 4s.
All right. Yeah. Well,
So
you didn't go
way
through
to
Lucas
say
Edders,
it.
though. That's
Yeah.
Lucas Edders was 2015 or 2014.
As it was, I don't know.
It was, that was a long time.
Real one started cubing when it was Keaton Ellis 508.
Yeah, that's like it's the landmark, I guess. So yeah, and it's interesting. Do we think this world record is going to stand for a long time? Because 3.13 stood for 2 years. That's
Yeah. It took
around
some
2
catching
years.
up for the average. You know what I'm saying? Like the average dropped a whole bunch
That's
in
true.
that time. But I don't know. I mean, any given scramble, right?
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna make a crazy prediction right now, and I don't want to put any pressure on anyone next month,
Oh my
but
gosh.
I think Yiheng has one, two, three, four, 7 rounds in the United States next month, and we're going to be streaming all of them because we're streaming not only Liberty Science Center Open B, which some of you guys may have heard about, or you probably should have heard about. We made a whole announcement on it, but we're also going to be live streaming PB and Palisades Open, or PB and Palisades Winner. The name's a little confusing. 2025, and that is going to have 4 rounds of 3x3. So that's, doing some quick math here, that's 35 attempts to get the world record single. I think it's going to happen. You heard it from me here first, and I'm great at predictions.
Like, the big thing is that, do we think that Yiheng is going to be jet lagged? Of course, like, the first couple competitions, probably. But, like, near the end of it, maybe not. Maybe he'll be back to... Because, like, it's just such a big time difference.
That's true, but also...
For someone so young.
That's true, but also I highly doubt Yiheng's getting there on the Friday. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be
right.
It feels like he wouldn't. I don't. I mean, I know.
I think jet lag. I know some people. I mean, it's different per person, but
Yiheng has traveled only as far as Korea for cubing. I think
that's not
actually,
even.
That's not actually. That, I shouldn't even say that. I think maybe like Malaysia. Yeah, or Australia. That's probably the farthest he's traveled, I'm assuming, right? For like cubing,
I guess
trip.
That would be only like, I don't know, 2 hours difference, maybe 1. It depends where, but still.
He's a kid though, so I think, I don't know about you, but I feel like as I've gotten older, I only started traveling across time zones when I was right when I was like maybe like a teenager, not really like, I guess around Yiheng's age, maybe 11, 10, but I know that, but I didn't travel like a huge 12-hour difference, obviously, but I feel like as I get older, the jet lag affects me more, so he might be young enough to where the jet lag wouldn't hinder his performance too much. I don't think he's like aware of a good sleep schedule or like bedtime, because you have that responsibility as like an adult to hold yourself to that, and then it's very easy to not hold yourself to that, and then you just kind of screw it up. So I'm just maybe spitting some crazy theories right now. I probably am, but yeah.
The jet lag theory. Yiheng sub 3.
Hey, you brought up the conversation. I wasn't even gonna bring jet lag into the equation here. You were the one who started this. But no, I will say I'm being a little facetious when I say that he's actually going to break the world record in those 35 rounds. Or the 35 solves, excuse me. I don't think he actually will. But it would be really cool. I mean, let's take a look at Yiheng's last 35 solves in the 7 rounds he's had. Okay, that's not a whole. That's not a whole lot of
like
solves.
They had world records, so I don't think statistics agrees with this, but we'll go on.
Okay, maybe I'm being a little crazy. I'm being crazy. Okay, I will admit that I'm crazy.
No, you want it to happen on a Clicky stream, and like it could.
It could happen. You want it to happen, probably, right?
Tymon 296.
Oh, I thought you just said that like it just happened. I'm like, what? And I'm like, okay, Tymon 296. That is. But
that's what's gonna happen.
But can Tymon pull off like a really, really good single? Like,
I don't know what his previous single was, to be fair, but
I will check. Tymon has I know it's,
I'm sure he has
I know it's
twos.
something good, obviously.
Most people at that level have 2s.
He has a 366 single officially.
Well, yeah.
So that'd be a pretty big drop. I mean, it's doable, probably, for his level. Is it gonna happen? Probably not. At least that's my thought. Yeah. So.
But anyway, yeah, this 308 is huge. Considering also that it, like, just how long the 313 lasted for that kind of record, because it's 3x3 single.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, of course, FMC single 2016 and like 5 blind mean or something like that has lasted forever. But those are kind of records that like they just don't hold as much weight when they're broken unless they stand for this long.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
yeah, I mean, 3x3 world record is something to where if it lasts for over a year, it's already very impressive.
Well, if you think about it, when Yiheng first broke the average world record, that huge jump at the I forgot the exact number, but it was a huge jump, right? Everyone thought was like, oh my god, the world's gonna end now. Yiheng has a world record. It's all over. But I think that now we've actually started to become more numb to these average world records. Like I keep looking at them and I'm like, okay, just get to like sub 4 now,
Maybe
and then is the story over? Are people gonna be numb to the sub 4 because he's just breaking these world records like on a? I hear about them like every. It's like every at least 1 or 2 months that he's done something crazy.
trying to think of another case where people were burnt out by like someone's world records, but
Felix
nothing
maybe.
springs to mind.
I wasn't cubing when Felix had the world record rampage, but maybe it's how we treat big cubes now
Maybe,
too.
but they were also, I don't know. I think nowadays the mentality has shifted to like really solely focusing on like second barriers. Like we were talking about like sub 3 single,
Yeah.
and you know, everyone was super hype about sub 4 average, but now they're just waiting for it to hit like another second barrier or half second barrier or something like that.
Okay. Yeah.
Whereas before with like Felix, I mean, I think most of his records were just impressive because of how long he's been breaking them for, you know?
That's true in a way. I'll I'll give you that. Yeah, but we
At
just
least by the time that I got it to it, but yeah.
yeah, we haven't. I was not keeping when Felix was breaking world records. I don't think I have seen a Felix world record in my lifetime of cubing. I don't know if he broke one after COVID or not. He definitely didn't. All of his world records were before COVID. So that is actually really scary to think about now. But
I think he still had no, he didn't have any.
he did.
Those.
He did, or did he? I'm
Did he
not
have 08 single?
sure. He, I
I don't
think he
know.
might have. I,
I think that might
I,
have been the
I
one.
know. I do remember distinctly there being like a sense of like, okay, Felix is done now. He lost like all of his world records. I think I did remember that moment when that happened. So, uh, yeah, we could have that conversation about the moment of being done. But let's try to move on from the 3.08. Good solve. We didn't talk about the solve too much. I don't know if there's anything too crazy. It's just like it was ridiculously fast solve. What we were
Yeah.
talking about more was more of the implications and the effects.
It wasn't like the most lucky scramble. Like.
No. It was something you would expect Yiheng could do, and
Yeah.
it wasn't like mind blowing in my opinion, or otherwise I think people would be talking about it.
All right, so now we're going to cover Timon's 1917 4x4 world record average. This one was very, very impressive because I don't think he's had this record before.
Is that true?
And yeah, I think it's been max. So 4x4 is an event that not a whole lot of people have gotten, like different people have gotten world records in.
Yeah.
So, I mean, of course, Timon's on a rampage with like big cubes. I know some people hesitate to call 4x4 a big cube, but
I think he's just
method-wise,
yeah.
you know,
He's just on a rampage, period. Because he got that
Mm-hmm.
467 ER average. He has this now. He has the 5x5 stuff and
world record 2 7x7 single, I think.
oh yeah, he got ER recently. Yeah. 6x6 is not. It's been a little bit dormant for him, but I'm sure he'll get he'll get somewhere there soon. So yeah, it's shocking to see. I guess Tymon when did Tymon start becoming the GOAT? This is
When?
when
Oh gosh, it would have been back with that extra solve in his world record 3x3 average, or probably even before with Pyrrha.
with
With
Pyrrha,
all
yeah,
the
but now
tuning
we
stuff.
don't even know him for Pyrrha. Pyrrha's completely exited his mind. Like if you think about it, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not. I don't think he even competes in
I
Pura
mean,
anymore.
I almost think that,
Yeah, he doesn't.
of
No.
course he got 3x3 ER, but I mean, if he sees potential in himself to break a lot of these big keyboard records, then he might be focusing on that a little bit more than 3x3.
That's true. I think at some point we consider that Yiheng and all the cubers in China they're really intense in 3x3 right now. But let's stop and consider, if Tymon doesn't think he's gonna get the world record in 3x3, maybe he's putting more effort into the big cube stuff, right? So that as you said, and yeah, that is very intriguing. So what
I
other
can't
thoughts do you
remember,
have
but
about?
I think like the average itself, like most of the times, or sub 20. Yeah, everything but the first solve, which was a 22, which is
Mhm.
like, okay, we
Yeah,
only have what 2, 3 people with a sub 20 average, and we're that close to pure sub 20. That's pretty crazy.
that is very
And this
crazy.
is, close to sub 19. I just don't remember when 4x4 got this fast.
I
Like to be like straight
That's
up, like
true. Yeah,
when did sub 20 happen? Was I just disassociating or something?
maybe, but I think we're at. I don't know. Maybe it's because we're older. We don't really, at least older
I mean,
in terms of. There's people that are like cubers that are like 11 or 12 that follow every single world record. Whatever happens, they're obsessed with these cubers,
well,
which
that's
I think
also
I
what I
think they would be
did. So
more they'd be more well versed in what the world record is. They maybe they find this not as much of a shock. They find it as like, okay, I expected this, but to us, to me at least, this is fascinating stuff. Like Yiheng and well,
yeah, yeah,
not as much maybe as Yiheng, but like Timon. Whenever I check like a world record or something, I look back, I'm like, you're right. Like when did it get that fast? Maybe I'm just not as caught up as some of the other cubers. Not even just younger, but just in general, the other cubers.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, it looks like, yeah, 3 out of the top 5 results have been achieved this year already in 4x4 average.
Wow.
And I mean, I remember 1938 from Max Park just because of how big that was and how it lasted for so long until obviously this year. So pretty much 2 years. I mean, less, but still, it's yeah, it's pretty big, and I think it's I think it's the second step towards big cube world record domination because obviously five
Yeah.
by five
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure.
already happened.
So let's talk about the cubers we've already been talking about, and the fact I think we alluded to this before, but I'll tell you how this all happened. We are live streaming PB and Palisades Winter 2025, and it has an A-list, like an A-list celebrity list of cubers. Basically, we got 4 really good cubers going. We have Yiheng, we have Tymon, we have Dylan Miller, and we have Luke Garrett. And I kind of want to talk about all 4 of them, maybe in their own individual way. I don't know if you want to. I don't know if you have a separate idea about how we want to work that out. But let's talk about.
Hold on. Hey! You said 4 really good. You're just gonna pass up my boy Carson Wajaya like that?
He's not competing in free
What
by
are
free.
you
Actually,
doing?
it's a long story, but he's not competing in
He's
free by
on the
free.
psych sheet
He
for it.
is, but he's not competing
Okay.
in free by free,
Okay.
unfortunately. Which is a
Okay.
shame.
Okay.
But anyway, there's also a lot of really good cubers. Curtis Chai, I know, is going in 2x2. That's gonna be really
Yeah, a
fun.
lot of good like local
Hey,
cubers that
Curtis Chai
tend to go
against
to New
Yiheng
York
Wang.
competitions.
That's gonna be.
Dog. I mean, what's there besides age? I mean, I know.
I guess.
Yeah.
So, Dylan Miller, Luke Garrett, Tymon, and Yiheng. So, let's talk about Luke, though. I think
Yeah,
he is.
we already talked about Tymon and Yiheng enough, so
We've talked about them enough.
Good.
Let's give the other guys some love. So Luke Garrett, he I think is looking for. I don't want to say revenge, maybe, but I I know I know he's going to be working harder than ever though, because I don't think he's been in the spotlight as much as the other guys.
Well, yeah, maybe not as much as two of them, but like, I mean, this man is statistically speaking the greatest WCA competitor at the moment.
That is true. Yeah, he has WR summon ranks. So,
Yeah,
he
like
is
that is a ginormous achievement that like I think a lot of people are aware of. But I understand, in terms of actual world records, outside of some of ranks, if that's what you're getting at,
yeah.
is like less so, yeah.
And we can and that performance is all good when you talk about like you're the best keeper in the world in terms of averages, but these averages he's done at many competitions over the course of many years. But when it matters most at one competition in one round, how well can you perform? And that's really what people will remember, I think,
It's
more
a good
so.
thing Palisades has 4 rounds.
It is a very good fake Palisades at 4 rounds. I think they had that in mind. I think they we can talk about that later. Luke so we talked about Luke Garrett. Dylan Miller. Now I think he's a little more interesting. I don't think Dylan Miller's as fast as Yiheng Wang. Sorry, Dylan. But I don't think he's as fast as Yiheng Wang, but what I do think he has more so over the 4 or over the 3, excuse me, is he has a voice. Just in general, just in YouTube and in I think he is very vocal about his opinions about the WCA and about competing. I know we talked about the PSL a lot. I think he's partnering with the PSL a lot, and he streams a lot too as well. And those streams usually go pretty popular. So I think that's what makes him unique in that regard is that he has he's a top cuber with a voice, which is something that I think he really speaks out a lot. Where maybe Yiheng and Tymon, we know them more for the solves. I know Dylan more for his opinions, and some of his takes they're strong, but they're very good and they're very insightful to how the WCA is being run, how cubing is being run in general. So it's gonna be fun seeing him there, and having maybe having a good time with the other top cubers.
Yeah. Also, fun fact. Another thing that you could argue he has over the others is experience, because I mean he's not been to the most competitions out of all of them, but he is a 2015 ID,
That's true.
whereas Timon's 2016, Luke's 2017, and so on. So
And Yiheng
there
is
is that as well.
2019 or 2018. I keep forgetting.
2019, I think.
Okay. Yeah. So.
But yeah, there's definitely a lot. I think while a lot of people will be putting Yiheng at the top of their, predictions for the win, it'll be very exciting to see, especially. I mean, you can kind of pair these four, like Yiheng and Tymon and Luke and Dylan, which wouldn't probably be incredibly accurate, but it'll be very interesting to see which one of these does not make the podium.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Yeah, that is gonna be really interesting. Oh, when you put it that way,
Yeah.
we could talk about that more later. But
I mean,
let's
yeah,
briefly go over Tymon and
yeah.
Yiheng first. I kind of want to combine them too because we just talked about them so much.
Just the fact that they're coming, that
They're
they're
here.
going to be in the United States, in New York.
I will say though, I remember when Tymon came to Princeton, New Jersey, for Princeton 2022. I don't know if you've seen the video, but
I remember him going.
Well, wait, you were there?
No,
Okay.
I remember like him coming to America and competing a little while ago.
Yeah, there was. Well, he's actually been to America multiple times. but
Yeah.
specifically the first time we went, Princeton, New Jersey, I wasn't even there. I just seen the videos. There was a huge crowd watching Tymon. Like, if this was the station, there was probably like a swarm of cubers and just people that really wanted to see Tymon. And I think that hype has only developed ever since for Tymon. And when you think about it, it's going to be exponentially increased by the fact that Yiheng is going to be there too. Because Yiheng has never competed in the United States of America or basically anywhere outside of Asia and Oceania. So,
outside of, well, actually, I don't even know. Has Yiheng competed against Tymon in a WCA competition?
Worlds.
Right.
Yeah.
Worlds.
Worlds.
I mean, it has been a while since Worlds.
Oh yeah. So it is 2 years, almost 2 years, but
yeah.
Dude, I am so hyped. It is incredible. Like, I don't think people were asking me, "Hey, are you live streaming this competition?" And I couldn't tell them. I had to keep it a secret. And I'm like, hell yeah, of course I am. Why would I not live stream this? Like, this is one of This is Will. I don't think I've told you this. Like, just what because we went to the venue today to test out some equipment stuff and to do stuff like that. And here's what Mr. Wong, the organizer there, told me. He told me that this is your Super Bowl, basically. And I said, no, this is our Super Bowl like times 4, because we have never. I don't think we've never had something as big as this.
Worlds will be
true,
and like I think if you're talking about like locally, we've never had something as big as.
I'm talking about like in terms of Clicky Studios. Like, we've never had.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's very exciting. It'll be cool to see who you can get on stream for an interview.
We did talk about that. I will say though, my Mandarin sucks. It is non-existent. I cannot translate. I cannot speak it.
Yeah.
I cannot understand it. So
it's a good thing the other 3 are well versed in the English language.
That is true. Even though Tymon is from Poland, he's very good at English. So that's good. And Luke and Dylan obviously are from America, so no issue with that. Hopefully. But yeah, I'm excited. The argument you made though is that the people who aren't gonna make the podium, and that's such a good argument. There's 4 people.
Well, because like, you can always spectate about who's gonna win, and who's gonna get second or third, but then you have to think at the end of the day, it's kind of a toss-up. But like, what's guaranteed is someone's not getting on that podium.
You have to think about who's being left out, and that's so hard to think about. You know.
Yeah.
It's like. It's sort of like, I remember this analogy with like the Chiefs and the Eagles. As much as you hated the Chiefs and the Eagles, if you did hate them, because I know a lot of people hated that matchup.
Yes.
It was
because
you had to think of it this way. There had to be a winner, but there also had to be a loser at the same time.
But like, you know,
so
what if
Mahomes won?
Was just destroyed the day before? They can't play. No winner. We all go home. By the way, guys, I don't like the Chiefs because they keep winning, and I don't like, and as the people on the team, I don't like Philly because I'm a DC sports fan.
I don't like Philly either. I'm a New York fan. I don't root for like the Jets or the Giants because they both suck. But like I feel for the Giants though. Seeing Saquon win without you, that's got to be rough. That's got to be so rough, man. The first year.
I don't know what's rougher, seeing that or like winning the one game you need to lose to get the first round pick in the draft.
That's not as bad. They had to win for morale. I feel like Dable would have been fired if that didn't happen. But
every Giants fan was so upset that they won.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. Man.
Yeah. All right, everyone. So we have talked about both Yiheng and Tymon starting to sweep the world records. So this is a good time to discuss Max Park and his relevance when it comes to world records and that sort of momentum maybe dying off a little bit more. And I mean, of course, Max Park will forever be a legend in cubing history,
Yeah.
but everyone has their sort of expiration date, if you want to call it that, for being the best of the best world record holders. And I don't know. I mean, of course, he still holds quite a few big cube world records, but as we mentioned, I mean, Tymon could look towards that, or even how he's not necessarily there for 6x6. I think Nam is not too far off, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Sunghyuk Nam. So there could be this sort of, um, you know, trend towards a much more varied set of world record holders, which would be the first time in a while because Felix held every world record, and then Max got them all. So it's usually been like domination by like one person,
Yeah.
at least ever since those two have been around, really.
But now is it going to be
And
like
now it's gonna
divide
be
and
different.
conquer, right? With the
Yeah,
big
now it could
cubes.
be three people. I don't know if really anyone else can.
It'll be
Catch up
interesting
and
seeing
do
the
friends.
dynamic
Yeah,
though if it plays out. I'm
right.
all for like new stuff in cubing, at least in terms of the rankings, or the official rankings I should say.
Oh yeah.
But I think people are going to be very quick to call this the fall off. I don't think it's the fall off. It's more so an
No,
inevitable thing to happen. It's not that
I don't.
Max Park didn't. He's still fast. It's just that other people are faster.
Are catching up.
You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. I don't think it's a fall off. I think it's more of a catching up from everyone else.
That's yeah. I think that's the argument to make. I'm I think Worlds 2025 is going to be the telltale sign. That is going to be if it is really the finale. If Max Park is starting to maybe wind down in terms of the cubing career, we'll know by the end of Worlds 2025. If he doesn't make that podium, it might be.
That is true. I
It
didn't
might
think
it,
about
it
that
might it
because
might
there's
be. I think it's the same way how we treated Felix,
yeah,
right? If you didn't make that podium in Worlds 2019, then I think we all knew very well that it's starting to look like a new era of cubing, and
right.
I
Well,
think
because there's the world records, but then there's also the world's podiums and world champion and those titles.
because Max not that long ago, let's keep reminding ourselves he is the world champion, but he only is the world champion by a hair because Yiheng got worst possible average on that last solve. And
Right, right.
if Yiheng, did end up getting something better, maybe he doesn't even have that argument anymore. That he's the reigning world champion, and maybe we're having a different conversation. So
Yeah.
thinking of it that way, it's a little sad, because I keep saying this. Cubers are so scared to change. I'm scared to change.
I
As like
mean,
it's
I think it's exciting.
it's
Like I
exciting
said
and it's
before,
scary.
when it's one person, I mean, the world records are still incredibly impressive and hyped, but having a more varied field and like seeing those battles for the top spot when you know that they're much closer than they really have been in years, I think it's incredibly
I
exciting.
I think there's just a weird cycle in sports too. Like I don't want to compare like Eddie Cuber to Patrick Mahomes, but I'm just gonna say Patrick Mahomes for now because it's a very well known example. But during like when Tom Brady was still playing, right? That's how I'll say it. When Tom Brady was still playing, we did kind of root for Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, right? He was the new
Dope.
kid. He was the kid that could take over the goat. But now he keeps winning all the time, and we're seeing that maybe we don't want to see Patrick Mahomes win anymore because he just wins so much. Maybe we're seeing that in cubing now, where there's going to be that one cuber that doesn't win right now. That's the underdog that we're rooting for, and then that cuber eventually is going to win so much that they live to become the villain. Is Max Park that cuber? I it might be a bit of a stretch, but I do understand that since Max Park has all of those world records, that people really wanted to see a refresh, that people wanted to see someone new. And
But it's not even like someone new. It's like, multiple people new. That's the most exciting part. Like, if it was just one person new, then I agree with you. I wouldn't be excited about it very much as, a whole field of
that's true.
possible
But
people.
is that
Like,
okay? Actually, I'll let you finish your point. But
well, I was just gonna say, people, you have free will. You don't have to root for Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes.
I just said
You
that
can
as an
just not
example.
watch the
Yeah,
Super Bowl.
it's true.
You can just not watch it.
Hey, Will, I don't think you understand. Okay, I'm sort of like an all-rounder sports fan, but I've just I dabble in every sport. I don't like follow one really closely, only when it's popular, I guess. But sports are people really love sports, and people really love cubing. And is that
Okay,
period of like the multiple cubers in the big cube sector, is that a transitional period? Is there eventually going to be one person from that pool of people that are dominating? Are they going to be able to catch up forever? Because I think I think eventually it will all lead to one. Because eventually when Patrick Mahomes sunsets, I think we'll see.
Bro, if you say his name one more time, I'm leaving. Like,
all right, I can't think of a better example. I only know that guy's example. So
just let's get off of football. Let's get off football.
fine. It's an easy analogy, but okay.
No, but I mean, I think, yeah, one person will probably come along and dominate everything. But at the moment, the way that it happens to be is that Yiheng is not there in the big cubes, but he is there in 3x3 and 2x2. And Tymon is now much less there in 3x3. So we looked up. We look up to 4x4, 5x5, which he's already gotten world records in. Like, it's such that there's not one person in the world that is good enough to be at all these world records.
Yeah.
And it could be that these world records drop enough and like get so hard to achieve to where it can't be one person. Like, you just can't be that good. But I don't know.
Right.
That's a stretch.
Let's talk about some of the world records that just happened. Other than the ones we talked about, these we set aside a little bit more because they didn't really fit into what we were talking about earlier. But Timofei has a 25.36 mega world record average. First time since LML hasn't held the world record in quite a while. That's big.
Yeah.
That's pretty big. And
I even saw that he said sub 25 fail.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Oh man, yeah, I did see. I think I saw this on the story or something, and I'm like, "What, dude? You just got the world record. Shouldn't you like LML has held it for as long as I can remember, at least in terms of like recent times. You're gonna cry about not being sub 25. These people have like determination. They have.
It was okay. I mean, yes, but technically speaking, it was because his fifth solve was the most important one, and it was a 2698.
Okay, but like.
So, like, technically speaking, it was a sub 25 fail.
Sure. Okay. Fine, Timofei. You can can have your world record, but I guess you can't have your sub 25. I think
well, not at the moment.
not at the moment because it can be very well improved on. The first time I heard about Timofei was at Euros last year.
Same.
And
same.
wow, he surprised me. He really surprised me because he was good at like I haven't heard of a little kid good at Megaminx. And this is the first time I'm seeing a kid.
I don't know how old he is, but
he's pretty young.
Like,
I'm sure he's like Yiheng's age, if not younger.
The other thing is like, in terms of like rankings, other than Timofei, there's like no other top Europeans in that until 29-second average, which is 4 seconds off of his record.
Oh yeah.
It's LML, it's Tristan Chuayong, Ziyu Wu, Alexei Sinyavin, Nick Nang, Alexander Vucic. These are just, I don't know. I feel like Europe came out of nowhere with this one.
That's true. Megaminx is such an international event if you think about it. I guess
Mhm.
other than the African continent, which, to be frankly honest, isn't really that much of a factor in terms of world records. I think that we've had top class solvers from pretty much every corner of the world in Megaminx, especially because I think
Yeah.
that's really South America's specialty. I kind of want to say. I think they have. I think if we were to think about it, I think they have the most records in Megaminx for sure over the course of the years.
I think so.
Because Juan
Or at
Pablo,
least that they've
Juan Key,
held it.
and
Yeah.
yeah,
Juan Pablo and LML. Yeah. But no, it is a very international event, which is strange. I mean, there's nothing necessarily about the nature of the event that I would think would lead it to be like that.
not explicitly, no. So it's
So
we know
it is
clock
strange.
is good because it's fast and nimble fingers, younger kids usually, but
Yeah, I
that
don't know, but yeah, it's pretty impressive. I mean, top people from what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different continents in the top 6. That's
that
pretty
is
crazy.
really crazy. 5 continents in the top 6.
Yeah, I think that's the only event where that's
Let's get a really good cuber to grow in Africa, and then we'll have that be a truly international event.
but only Megaminx.
Only Megaminx.
All their
We'll
time and
only
all
give
their
that
time
cuber
and
Megaminx.
effort.
We're not gonna give them free
All
by
their
free.
time and effort.
We're not gonna let them
into
go in free by free with the
Megaminx.
big cubes. We're just gonna have them do Megaminx, and maybe clock.
I remember seeing somewhere that at a time Juan Pablo had world record, but then he averaged 10 on 3x3, and it's that's what I mean. I know there's a pretty big difference at the end of the day between 3x3 and Mega, but still.
Yeah. So let's talk about Yiheng's 0.86 world record average. And this is sort of a micro PR, not PR, micro world record, but it's getting ever so slightly closer to the point where oh, this is real. Yiheng is
how much faster can this record get, man?
it. I saw Zayn Kanani. I saw most of his world records actually. Fun fact: I saw his Cape Fear record. I saw his I think he set one at Pioneer Valley in Massachusetts. Yeah, and then he got really close to it at least. But I saw him just get ever so painfully close to sub 1, and then he finally got it at the Cumberland competition, which was so exciting to see. Then Yiheng comes in and ruins that sort of pull from Zayn, which is, I mean, it's for him. He's worked really hard. He's probably worked as hard as Zayn to get that record. So but it's just the point of he's a younger cuber. He has that TPS. It's just a matter of who deserves it at the end of the day, and if it's gonna get is it gonna get any faster?
I think I can realistically see a 0.7x average and accept it and be okay with it. Okay, that's crazy.
When we were first introduced to the concept,
that's not the most crazy standing world record at the moment. You know what I mean?
When we were first introduced to the concept of a 0.7x average, I think people were really intolerant to it. But then after that went away, we were like, okay, but this is just as crazy, if not crazier.
Yeah, but I am completely intolerant to a 0.6 average.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's not a question.
That shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah. Is 2x2 gonna turn into like an eternal world record event? Is that something we thought about?
Oh, you mean like it's just gonna hit its cap? I mean,
Because if you
probably
think about it,
eventually. And
hey, 1 second's pretty fast, you know? We don't have a lot of time in 1 second. So it's going to be an exponential curve, yes.
but
But
like, you know, in like 30, 20, 20, 30, 40 years, like there has to be at least one set of scrambles that is like all four movers, and it's like there's someone very
at the right
fast in that
time, at the
group,
right moment, though.
and then it's like a 0.39
Do you know
average.
how incredibly lucky you have to get, though, to have that happen?
But it's like
It is
the
so.
amount of 2x2 rounds that will happen in like the next 40 years.
Listen, okay? I'm
It has to.
I'm like all for the I'm all for the like the stuff. I'm all for the excitement, but like man, it's hitting its peak. It's hitting its peak soon, and I think it's gonna be within the next 10 years. And then we're gonna see like okay, this is probably the end of 2x2. I don't think it's gonna be the end of 2x2. I think it's gonna be we're gonna accept that 2x2, that the world record, whatever it is, it's gonna be long standing. It's not going to be touched for a while. Now we have to focus on the championships and stuff like that. Who's going to win the worlds of that year? And I think that should have more priority if we accept the fact that the world record at the time is long standing and cannot be broken. Like, we don't watch a football or we don't watch any sporting game to see a world record happen, at least in terms of like the popular ones of stadiums. We watch to see the good players play and to see who will win at the end, because we've accepted that there's what is there to measure as a world record, I guess, in that sport. So maybe the analogy's a little dumb there, but I don't know what your thought about that is.
I mean, it's just like, I don't know. I think the limit for the world record, or like the limit for how fast an average can be on an average set of scrambles, will be reached within the next, like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years. Like, the limit for, like I said, an extremely lucky, like 1 in a million scramble set, I don't know. I mean, it could be something absolutely ludicrous, like
Sure.
0.4.
Yeah.
Like, it could happen, and the fact that it could happen means it's much more likely to happen the more years that you think it'll happen out.
That's a little scary.
All right, everyone. So we're going to wrap up the podcast by talking about Cubing Clash New York, Tymon versus Yiheng live event, and this is on March 9th in Flushing Town Hall. And yeah, it's a like head-to-head showdown, and nine it's 9 sets of first to five.
I actually haven't.
And yeah, I think my very first thought was that it reminds me of the competitions that GAN held in, like, unofficially in Asia.
I guess.
I
Yeah.
think they were
That's.
GAN competitions, but like they were like head-to-head sort of style. Well, I mean, this is different because it's just two people, of course. Um,
Well, okay.
I think,
First of all,
yeah.
I'm looking at pictures of the venue. It looks like a beautiful venue. First of all, so whoever got the venue secured, props to them because it looks incredible. The the next thing is that this is very much like a theater setup. Like when you watch
Hmm.
I don't want to say when you watch a Broadway show. I think Broadway theaters are pretty big, but
Like smaller
like
Broadway, yeah, yeah.
when you go to a really big high school and it has like an auditorium with 2 floors, like that's probably what we're talking about here, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like so,
And I mean, it seems very limited. I mean, At least
Yeah.
like the VIP and premium lounge, only 28 tickets available. It says.
Yeah, but there's probably gonna be there's. It looks like they have a lot of room in there for people to come, and I think there is some sort of interest there because I know there's a lot of local cubers in New York, and especially in that
Well,
area
yeah.
because it's New York City. Take
Mhm.
take the LIRR, take the subway, take the 7 train there. It's easy, and it's
And
the Flushing Town Hall. It looks like yeah we got bus stops, the we got Flushing Main Street there. Just take the 7 from Penn Station. So there's a lot of ways you can get to that venue, which is smart on their part.
yeah, and what's also interesting, but like makes sense, is that this will not be live streamed because I mean the ticket prices are fairly high. It will be recorded. It says,
Probably
yeah,
be
in the
recorded for
description,
after
it'll be
uploading.
filmed.
Yeah.
But it won't be live streamed. So it is a very exclusive event.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I think this is pretty cool. It's definitely, of course, just a one-off kind of thing
It's
that the cubicle is holding. So it's like an exhibition event before
yeah. Well, this is after the
well, at
after yeah.
least
This is after the Palisades
before
event competition.
LSC though, before LSC.
Yeah, so Yiheng is gonna have some, I guess, warm up here, but he has Palisades too, so it's like,
Yeah,
hey, it's
I
just
mean,
I would go to this, but listen, man, I'm gonna be so done after Palisades. I'm gonna need I have LSC the next week too.
you're only gonna have 5 days or whatever.
I'm only gonna have I need that week to calm down and then focus on LSC again, like
This
because
is, I mean, the other thing that might be a little tricky is that it's on a Sunday. I mean, of course, it has to be because Palisades and LST kind of sandwich it for the
you
Saturdays.
just say
But
LSD.
no, I said LSC,
Okay, sorry.
man. And I think maybe people will find that they are less available on Sunday. It doesn't have a time of day.
It is
So I don't know if this is like a
once
night event or a afternoon event.
one
But
second. I do remember saying that there's a lunch provided, so
oh yeah.
or
In
at
the
least for the
VIP
VIP
bundle.
guests. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Okay.
And
Maybe we should talk to Will about, or not Will. I should talk to Phil about that. Yeah. It's it's a little. Yeah.
what?
I don't explicitly see a time. It's probably in the ticket details. I would assume it has to
Yeah. I
be.
mean, we haven't gone past the description on the website,
Oh
like
yeah. So
or the first page for the event or whatever.
yeah.
But I mean, the prices are kind of comparable to just other events, like I don't know, a classical concert to see like a full orchestra or something,
Yeah.
or like some other event or showing. I mean, a bit more expensive than a movie, of course, but
I know people are complaining about the price a lot, but let's think about it here. It's
I
what
mean,
did you expect?
of
It's not
course,
gonna be free, obviously. It's not gonna be
yeah. I mean,
it's not gonna be like $20. I mean, because like 20 bucks is like a regular movie ticket. I think it has to be a little bit more expensive than that. And these are cubers. It's a one-time opportunity thing. Like I said, I would go to this event if it weren't for the fact that Sunday is my only rest day that within that 2 week stretch of
well,
live streams.
yeah.
So
I mean, I don't know. It's like people are gonna compare to PSL or whatever in terms of pricing
I think that's an
and
unfair comparison.
VIP and such. But yeah, it is at the end of the day because this is just a one-time event, and the prices are like, at least for first floor back and balcony, I think they're lower.
Yeah, first the lowest price for first floor is first floor back, which is $55. And also you do get a discount on these tickets, by the way, if you use discount code Clicky Studios for
I don't
5% off
know.
your order. So I'm just saying
It is a lot.
it's a little lower if you put that discount in.
It's a lot of money for people who cube but don't, want to spend that kind of thing to go and see something that they might just go and get a, relatively fulfilled experience at Palisades or LSC for less.
Yeah, but I'm sure they're gonna have something there that makes it special because LSC and Palisades, it's not the spectacle; it's more about competing. This is gonna be for the spectacle. So, I highly encourage you guys watching. If you're in the area, you should come watch. Also, watch the Palisades live stream too, please. That would be very very nice. And yeah, I think that's all I have today. All right, so we are on our personal cubing achievements and endeavors. Will hasn't, according to him, he hasn't done anything because he sucks at cubing. It's awful.
Just more of the same old with cube, but nothing.
I got nothing in my personal achievements list too because I'm not cubing this week at all. Like, I cannot turn a cube until the first round of Freeway Free next Sunday. Oh God, why did I do that? The more I think about it, I'm like, what a stupid idea that is. Like, but I'm too deep into it now. I haven't cubed in 20 hours.
Did the people choose for you that
they wanted it. About over 100 people voted, and they wanted me to suffer. So, if it's in the name of good content, I will suffer. Okay? If it's in,
it's not gonna.
It's gonna be not fun for me, but it will certainly be fun for you.
Yeah.
And we'll see if I win. If I win, it's gonna be the greatest. Honestly, that's probably the greatest cubing accomplishment of all time for me. If I do it, because
who else is going to this?
Aaron Jake Wong, and then I'm second on the psych sheet. So that's why I wanted to do this. And then, hey, if I don't win, I didn't even think I was gonna win if I practiced anyway. So we'll see how this tactic works. And that's gonna be exciting. So obviously nothing there. If I win that competition though, that's gonna beat the 260. That feeling is gonna be so good. It's in the running for beating the 260. The 260 was pretty cool, but like this is even cooler.
Yeah.
And that's gonna about do it for the podcast today. Thank you guys for watching. Today we talked about Yiheng's 3.08 3x3 world record single. We talked about Tymon's 19.17 4x4 world record average. We talked about the Palisades live stream. We talked about Max Park and maybe sort of his expiration, so to say. We talked about Timofei's 25.36 Megaminx world record average. We talked about Yiheng's 0.86 2x2 world record average as well. And we also talked about the Cube Clash in New York. And as always, round off the podcast with our personal cubing achievements and endeavors. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you do want to watch Yiheng Wang, Luke Garrett, Dylan Miller, and Tymon Kolozinski compete in person, then you should go to PB and Palisades. Check out the link below with the live stream. And if you want to support us, make sure to go to thecubicle.com. Use discount code Clicky Studios for 5% off your entire order. Or you can go to SeatGeek.com and use discount code Clicky Studios for up to $20 off on your first purchase. Thank you guys so much for watching the 11th episode of No Comps on Mondays. We'll see you on the next Monday because there are no comps on Mondays. We'll see you then.